was in trouble. Down he went. Rodriguez on the ground, but able to start the game, and perhaps into it he wished he hadn't. The Baltimore bats all over him. 7 runs, 4 home runs. Orioles took game 1 of the series. It's a 4-game set and a big one in the East, and game 2 is right now. It's the Orioles on Masson and Birdland on a Friday night as the Oriole folks head in for game 2. Red Sox and the Orioles as the Orioles look to close in on both the Yankees and Boston. And a very good evening. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Thorne, and welcome for the Orioles. After being out of the division for a while, they come back for these games that we call 2 for 1, because that's what it means as far as the standings are concerned. And the Orioles have really taken advantage of that. Nobody in the American League regarding division play has a better record against division opponents than do the Orioles. They are 20-11 against teams in the East. So we ran the numbers today to see what that looks like. Their numbers against the East as opposed to everybody else. I was kind of surprised by the fact that offensively there's not that much difference. The run per game up in the East, but not bad for the rest. Batting average about the same. The runner in scoring position number actually is a little better against the rest of baseball, but take a look at the pitching. The starters' ERA 5.7 outside the East, 3.98 in it. And the relievers, a 3.79 for the rest, a 4.02. So the starters have done an outstanding job when playing games against the East. Mike Bordick, that surprised me a little bit, but that's great news for the Orioles.
Well, it sure is, especially against the American League East. Obviously, everybody in the East seems to be a rival, but the starters have stepped up, and the big guy has been Dylan Bundy. He's been consistent all year long. When Dylan Bundy takes the hill for the Orioles against the East, their team is 6-1. He's got an earned run average of sub-2 against the American League East, so he has been dominant. But even Kevin Gausman has been special against the East. The team is 5-2 when Kevin Gausman pitches against the American League East, and he's been inconsistent this year. So there's something about the team aspect. I think everybody kind of rising to the top. They've always been good this year with runners in scoring position. So they're getting that clutch, timely hit. And even though the bullpen earned run average was a little elevated, they're the guys that are getting the big wins at the end. Those 21 wins against the East. Michael Givens has 5 against the East this year.
So the Orioles playing particularly well here on this homestand. This is another aspect of the Orioles game. Camden Yards has been real good to them. And again, you turn to the pitching. Unusual. The fly ball pitching staff starting rotation that pitches so well here.
It's amazing to me because for years Camden Yards is considered a hitter-friendly ballpark, but the pitchers know how to execute. They keep the ball down well. They use the defense behind them. The defense stepped up in last night's ball game. Wade Miley had another sensational start for the Orioles to shut down this tough Red Sox offense. So for some reason, they really rally behind the home team. You know, there's a comfort factor involved here, and I think this whole team feels good about playing in front of these fans.
And the bats are feeling good. Great start to June with all the home runs that were put up last night. It is floppy hat night here at the ballpark. None more happy about that than Mike Bordick, because that is the hat of choice when Mike heads out for a summer outing. on Massett is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by the University of Maryland Medical System. Be a part of something greater. What another gorgeous weather day here. Let's take a look at what's going on tonight. BGE Home, Baltimore's home team for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Why would you call anyone else? A gorgeous clear sky, 79 degrees to start the ball game. Little breeze blowing out to left, humidity way down. For the Red Sox, who come in 29 and 24, 3 games behind the Yankees. Betts, Benintendi, and Bogarts. Moreland, Ramirez, Bradley. Rutledge will be on with Sandoval, and Sandy Leon will do the catching tonight. Jackie Bradley Jr. last 16, putting up some impressive numbers.
Yeah, let's take a look at Alec Asher's scouting report, looking to rebound from his last start. Man, Mr. Versatile worked out of the bullpen, has made a few spot starts, but that last one a rough one, only lasting 2 innings, 6 earned runs in the second inning. Sinker slider combination, that's his bread and butter. Likes to work the corners of the plate, mix in an occasional curveball and changeup in his repertoire, but he's got to be on the edges. Yeah, work the edges this Red Sox lineup. Wade Miley carved him up last night. Asher looking to do the same. 3.77 earned run average, has 1 win. The win coming here at Camden Yards. This will be his first start at Camden, but he has pitched well here in this ballpark. He has given up the 5 home runs on the year.
And against the Red Sox, he made a relief appearance in the middle of April. Worked an inning there, didn't give anything up, and then had a start against Boston in a loss and gave up 3 runs, 6 hits over 6 innings in that ball game. Here is Mookie Betts to face Asher as we get underway here in game 2. Asher's delivery to him will be taken for a strike. And our Friday night ball game is underway. The Orioles 28 and 24, 4 above 500. They are a half game behind the Red Sox for second, 3.5 behind the Yankees for first in the division. That one up in the air, left center field. Adam Jones is going back. This time he won't have to go over the wall, though. Puts it away. Betts retired.
Adam Jones making a nice play out there at center. Take a look at the rest of the Orioles defense. Kim getting the start left field. Smith will be over and right. Hardy and Scope will be up the middle with Machado and Davis on the corners. With Caleb Joseph doing the catching.
Benintendi back in the lineup with the right-hander on the mound for the Orioles. Came on late in the ball game yesterday. For Benintendi, looking at an 0 for 13 coming into the ball game, an 0 for he's trying to get out of. He has faced Asher 3 times, 1 for 3. Machado in at third base. Benintendi with the good speed, and will take it down low for a ball. What a gorgeous night. Little sun left in right field. Other than that, lights will be taking effect shortly. Swing and a miss. Asher kept it down. 1 ball, 1 strike count.
Yeah, nice pitch on the heater right there. As Eduardo Rodriguez just put on the DL. Pitched in last night's ball game. Saw him stumble before the ball game in the bullpen. Ended up giving 4 home runs up, and now finds himself on the DL.
10-day DL, and talking to their GM before the ball game today, they're concerned it's the right knee. It's going to go under further examination. They hope that it is not something that's going to be an extensive injury for their left-hander. Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way, and chases one away. Strikeout for Asher.
Now let's take a look at the Mercedes pitch cast here. Alec Asher busting out the 2-seam fastball. Hit it right across the plate. That outside edge, good velocity at 91 miles an hour. Joseph calling for it on the inside. Works off the plate. Becomes a pretty good pitch.
So Asher with a chance for a quick inning here. That'll bring Xander Bogaerts to the plate. Bogaerts had an 0 for 4 in the ball game last night. Bogaerts had an extensive run of getting on base, 16 consecutive games in this ballpark. He'd reached base until last night, and that 16-game streak was broken. 1-0 count on him with 2 down. Breeze picking up a little out to left field. Mick Showalter was talking about it before the game. Felt as though last night was the first night here at Camden Yards this year where the ball is really carried. It was flying.
Oh, it jumped out pretty good, but I don't know, with that wind blowing out there, something might be happening in left center. Betts looked like he got on that first pitch fastball and then died.
Yeah. That's kind of ironic. It was last night, of course, where maybe the game was changed on Mookie Betts' first at bat when he was robbed of a home run by Adam Jones. This time Jones didn't have to go quite to the warning track to haul it in to start this game. 2-1 delivery. Bogaerts will put it up in the air. Hardy will go back. And JJ will follow it and put it away. Real good start. Asher, a 1-2-3 inning. Take a look at the lineup for the Orioles. There are the do-ups coming up: Smith, Jones, and Machado. The far right and the guy in the bottom left there, those are Australian bush hats. You just put that up on top, buckle it up, you got yourself a whole new different kind of look. Speaking of different kind of look, Orioles lineup brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares, nothing to hide. Transparency. Last night the home runs, 4 of them. The Orioles just rocked, including Jonathan Scope, who finished the ball game up with a 3 RBI homer that really mattered. Smith, Jones, and Machado, Trumbo, Davis, and Scope, Kim, Hardy, and Joseph. Adam Jones this season against the East, 303 with 17 RBIs.
And let's take a look at Rick Porcello. Scouting report: last year's Cy Young Award winner has the full arsenal. Good fastball, rushed it up there to 95, two-seamer to get his ground ball work, curveball and change to go along with it. But he has been getting hit this season. 88 hits to lead the American League, and it has been tough on him. But he's pitched well on the road this year. 4.21 earned run average overall.
Smith will lead it off for the Orioles and will take the pitch for a strike.
Pitching to a 2.77 on the road. See the rest of his numbers. That 3.06 batting average, way up there. Last 2 games he's given up 22 hits, 11 in each.
Very little similar to the Cy Young Award year last year and the numbers he has put up this year so far. 0-1 delivery will be taken away. You take a look at I'll go through a number of these as we watch Porcello on the mound, but overall last year hitters hit 230 against him. This year they're hitting 306. And it's from both sides of the plate. Last year 225 for the left-handers. This year 298. Last year 235 right-handers. This year 313. You know, just explosive numbers. It's hard to believe that it could have jumped as much as it has.
Yeah, right. I mean, it really is amazing. But pitchers, it's all about feel, and with Porcello it's about command of that two-seam fastball, the ability to keep it down. And start of the year it was getting elevated and rocked, hit hard.
Porcello, a 2-ball 1-strike count, and Smith will foul that one off. One of the reasons Smith in the lineup with the right-handed pitcher primarily, but he's got a 409 batting average against Porcello, a lifetime batting average with a good number of at-bats. So you get somebody like that in a leadoff spot, can really kind of destroy for a pitcher the beginning of a ball game.
Absolutely. There are some Orioles with some pretty impressive numbers off Porcello. He's been around for quite a while, still a young pitcher, but 9 years in the league.
Only 28 years old. 2-2 delivery on the way. He'll come inside and miss, and the count will go to 3-2.
Now Porcello, we look at the numbers and the fact that he's given up some hits and stuff, but he still has 8 quality starts. So he's eating up some innings. He's getting deep in the ball game. Didn't get a lot of run support early on. It might have helped him kind of get over the hump with the struggles, but reports are saying he's pitching better here recently, even though I mentioned the 22 hits in the last 2 games.
Yeah, he has. The run support's been cut in half from last year. He's had no runs in 6 of his 9 starts. So you start right there.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to win.
It's tough. Absolutely.
Not going to win many of those games. That's a dramatic drop from what he had last year when he was up almost to 6 runs per start.
Yeah.
3 ball, 2 strike count. Smith battling him well here. Smith making him work early on. 7th pitch of the at bat coming from the first base side of the rubber. It'll be fouled away again. This is just what we were talking about.
Yeah, well, this is what a leadoff hitter is supposed to do. Seth Smith really working Porcello. 7 pitches already thrown. The hitters behind him have a good look at what he's offering. Can get a little bit of a rhythm off his windup. See a couple pitches left in the middle of the plate there.
At this point last year, he was 7-2 at an ERA of 4. This year comes in here 3-6 with an ERA of 4.21. 3-2 delivery on the way, and Smith hits that one hard to right. Bench going back, way back, looking up. Hey, goodbye home run. Right man, right place, right time. And the Orioles pick up right where they left off last night in a 1-0 lead.
A way to start the game. Great at bat by the veteran lefty Seth Smith. 8 pitches later, able to get into one. Smith picking up his 5th homer of the year.
Well, he rocked into that one and way over Betts' head. 5 home runs, 11 RBIs for Seth Smith as he leads the ball game off with a homer for the Orioles, and that is the 11th home run that has been surrendered by Porcello. 6 of those hit by left-handers. Here's Adam Jones, and Adam will foul it off.
I'll take a look at Seth Smith. Solo home run here. 8th pitch coming, and it is a gut fastball. You see the fastball's on the plate, all about belt high. Seth Smith does not miss it, stays behind it. Perfect bat head to the baseball. Classic lefty swing right there.
0-1 delivery to Adam. Adam with one of the homers last night. 1 for 4. He has had 3 home runs off Porcello in his career, even though the batting average is just .229 lifetime off him. He'd like to join Smith in a little back-to-back action here. That one he got jammed on and fouls it back.
How about Adam Jones, the way he started the ball game, taking one away from Mookie Betts. Betts has had a lot of success here. Blake Miley appreciating that, and then comes up and smokes one in his first at bat, just going over that left field wall. Helping the Orioles a big first game victory against the Red Sox.
Adam has been hot at the plate after missing those 4 games, resting the ankle and the hip. 1-2 delivery, and got him to chase one away, and Porcello will pick up his 69th strikeout in 69 innings.
All right, hard slider right here, 89 miles an hour. He gets on top, so there's a little tilt. A lot of times it'll work like a cutter and stay lateral. This one dive bombing hard down and away, 89 miles an hour on the slider.
So the first out of the inning recorded on the strikeout. That'll bring Manny Machado to the plate. Manny getting things started last night out of the offer and ended up with a 2 for 4 and a couple of runs scored. He too has had a home run off Porcello with just a .200 lifetime batting average against the right-hander. Manny will take the pitch outside for a ball. The Orioles 6-4 against Boston this year. They are 3-1 in the games that have been played here. 1-0 delivery, and the pitch that's going to be taken away. If I said 200, it was 300. You saw Manny against Porcello, and a 2-0 count. The Orioles looking to jump on a Red Sox team early that's had some pretty good success on the road, and that one's taken down low. Porcello pitching around him here, goes 3-0.
Yeah, trying to work that outside corner. Nice take right there by Manny Machado. We saw a little bit of a difference in last night's game. Of course, a couple of hits, but a 2-0 quality take there.
That will be in there for a strike at the knees, and the count goes to 3-1. Outfield straight away on Manny. 3-1 delivery to him, and he rocks one way back in left field. They turn to watch, and goodbye home run off the facade of the second deck. Manny Machado.
Wow. Best swing of the year right there for Manny Machado. Yeah, it's his 11th home run. but it is perfect. Stays back, stays tall, and it came off hot. 114 miles an hour. Up into the second deck. Kidding me? That is a big ball.
That had the sound along with the distance. Number 11, 26 RBI for Manny, and the Orioles have a 2-0 lead in this ball game. Jumping on Porcello, 2 of the first 3 hitters take it out of the yard. And the pitch outside for a ball.
Oh, take a look here. Fastball. Inner third. Manny Machado staying tall. Wow, lets it travel and just reacts on the inside heater. Beautiful swing right there from Machado. Great at bat.
Porcello didn't even bother to turn around. He knew when he heard that, saw the swing, that ball was gone. And Manny and Smith deliver first inning home runs. So the Orioles halfway to the number they had in the ball game last night when they hit 4. 1-1 delivery on the way, and a big cut. Mark Trumbo, one of those who delivered a long ball. His came in the first inning, getting number 8. It was a 2-out, 2 RBI homer, as Manny had reached ahead of him on a single, and Trumbo drove one out. Now in his career, he's got 3 home runs against Porcello. 1-2 delivery away, and he too a big number, 310 lifetime against the Red Sox right-hander.
I'll tell you what, man, the Orioles offense looking pretty good. Got on them in last night's game. Nice to see the early start, squaring up some baseballs off Porcello.
2-2 delivery on the way to center field, right at Jackie Bradley Jr. And there are 2 down. Take a look at our PNC inside the numbers.
Well, I'll tell you what, Manny Machado is about 114 miles an hour, and here it is, a good look, a closer look in April. Barrel per batted ball rate 13.2. It was coming off hot off Porcello, 90.2 miles an hour. Well, that means he was leaving some cookies on the plate, and they weren't missing him. May much better at 5.17. A little softer at 87.7, but I'll tell you what, after those 2 home runs, it just got jacked right back up to over 90.
Yep. And Chris Davis, another one of the home run hitters. Chris now with a 4-game hit streak. He too has delivered the long ball against Porcello. He's got 3 career home runs off him with a 205 average. And Chris will take the fastball up high. And Porcello struggling through the first, up to 24 pitches thrown, and the Orioles with 2 runs in. Orioles came in tied for 5th in home runs in the American League starting today's play. 2-0 delivery, and Davis will take the high strike. Orioles have out-homered opponents now 75-65 on the year, a +10 in home runs. And against the Red Sox, they've out-homered the Red Sox 17-9 in the games that have been played. This is game number 11.
Yeah, Big Papi. They're missing that big bat, aren't they?
Yeah,
I think Porcello is for sure when you talk about the run support.
2-ball, 2-strike count on Davis with 2 down and the base is empty. Porcello has upped his strikeout numbers from last year on a per game basis, but not a lot of other positives. That one is going to miss down low. So Chris taking in another full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, some really nice quiet at bats by the Oriole offense here to start this ball game. Of course, Seth Smith, leadoff hitter, seeing 8 pitches and then going deep. Manny, nice quiet takes and a homer.
3-2 delivery back off the screen.
Well, of course, Manny's 114-mile-an-hour home run. How about by a left-handed hitter off Eduardo Rodriguez, last night's starter? Hardest ball hit, crushed Davis, 105.8. And how about the longest as well, 424. A bomb off Eduardo Rodriguez. He has been tough on the lefties in his career.
A 3-ball, 2-strike delivery for the second time to Davis. He rocks one. That's back. Betts back looking. That's going to take a hop off the screen. And he'll hold with a single. Betts was playing very deep in the power alley, so the ball just over his head hit hard. Davis ends up with a base hit.
Yeah, there have been some balls covered here in this inning. Take a look here. Chris Davis, an adjustment with his stance, staying a little bit shorter, keeping the feet together, and he just uses the hands, trust the wrists, get the bat head to the ball, and it comes off hot as well. Take a look. Woo, the crusher getting to it quick and beating Betts deep to the wall.
Chris now has a 5-game hit streak. He's 5 for his last 13. And that will call for a conference at the mound as Carl Willis will come out to have a word here.
Well,
Workman has been brought up by the Red Sox today to add a little depth in their bullpen with Rodriguez going on the DL with that right knee problem. So they've added depth, and if Porcello goes on like this for very long, they're going to need it.
Man, I'm telling you, right now it seems like trying to establish his fastball in the early going and just leaving too many pitches on the plate. The two-seam fastball not sinking, not much depth on it, staying flat in the zone. Orioles making him pay right now.
And Jonathan Scope, the other home run hitter from last night, with a 1-for-4, 3 RBIs, came in a home run. That was in the 6th inning. Looked like it was going to be just a little icing on the cake. It proved not to be, because the Red Sox came up with 4 runs in the 9th inning of the ball game. So but for the 6th inning 3-run homer by Scope, the Orioles would have been in a hole.
Yeah,
but they weren't, because he did. 1-0 count, and that'll be popped up first base side. Moreland will go back, better angle. Rutledge at second. Rutledge calls him off and will put it away. So the Orioles come up big time. Their 2nd leadoff homer of the year. Smith got it, his 5th overall, and Manny Machado picking up number 11. And the Orioles kick it off for the long ball 2-0 lead. A big winner, 500 for being selected, 500 more for every Orioles home run hit tonight, and there already have been 2 of them. Play Home Run Rich's scratch-offs, win up to $50,000, or enter non-winning tickets for a chance to be the contestant of the game. Go to mdlottery.com/homerun. Now the Orioles off and flying on the homers, with Manny Machado getting the 11th of the year, and for Seth Smith, he joins Joey Rickert with the 2 leadoff homers the Orioles have this year. Rickard got his against Gio Gonzalez and the Nationals. Red Sox bat here in the 2nd inning. Moreland back in the lineup. Left-handed stick, and the pitch will be taken for a strike. Asher, while they've been limited at bats, left-handers hitting only .231 against him, and the right-handers at .286. So he has held the lefties down again. He's only pitched 31 innings coming in. This is just his 4th start and his 13th appearance of the year. And Moreland will take the pitch up high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Shift on against him. StatCast brought to you by Amazon Web Services. Leaving Manny Machado over there on the other side of the plate. Other side of the diamond, rather. Asher with a 1-1 delivery on the way, and that ball will be popped up. He went upstairs to get it out of play.
Yeah, they've got to move the ball around against this Red Sox lineup. Very patient team, but getting ahead is going to be crucial for Alec Asher. Working those edges, get the chases at the top of the zone, bottom, off the outside corner, and you got to keep them honest in. And Asher is not afraid to pitch in. Actually leading this team, I think, with hit batsmen. 6
leading the league with hits batsmen, and that's in just 31 innings. 1-2 delivery on the way, and again Moreland goes upstairs, pops it up. Man, he's got a long run here to get to it, but he will. And he will handle it for the out. Moreland is retired. Take a look at our Maryland Live Casino inside the numbers.
Yeah, but Alec Asher in his starts this year, pretty good at first two. Up in Toronto, he's matched up against Estrada. Pitched 6 1/3, only 3 hits. And Boston matched up against Chris Sale. Are you kidding me? 6 innings. He give up a couple home runs of Hanley Ramirez. But the problem with his third start in Houston, the 6 big hits. And I'll tell you what, they were big ones. A home run, a triple, a couple doubles that knocked him out after the 2nd inning. And it was all about command, the fastball command, leaving too many pitches on the heart of the plate.
It is his 16th career major league start. That ball put up in the air by Ramirez, second base. Jonathan Scope camped under it, and he'll put it away. So not hard outs to start the game as Asher's getting him put the ball up in the air, and there are 2 away here in the 2nd inning. So Asher a chance to retire 6 in a row. Jackie Bradley Jr. will stand in against him. Asher was acquired from the Phillies on March 28th. Orioles picking up a lot of pitching depth late spring training and in the early part of the season. And Asher, one of those. That pitch is in there for a strike. Jackie Bradley Jr. Another left-handed stick in the lineup. He has faced Asher 4 times and has 1 hit against him. Shift will be on against Bradley. However, this shift is slightly modified because of his speed. You see where Jonathan Scope is.
Yeah, definitely. Jonathan Scope typically will play way out in the shallow right field, well back on the grass, but respecting the speed of Jackie Bradley Jr.
Bradley 240 against the Orioles this year. A couple of home runs. 0-2 delivery, one after one that was up and away. Asher almost got him on a K on that one. The count goes 0-2.
Yeah, up at the top of the zone. That 2-seamer just leaked out over a little bit. Give him a chance to get a piece. If it's more inside, and tie them all up.
Asher, 25 years old. 0-2 lifetime against the Red Sox. 0-1 this year. 0-2 delivery on the way, and he'll get the inside corner. Good pitch. So Asher 6 in a row retired. That's his 2nd strikeout, and doing it in a hurry. Orioles on top early in this ball game, 2-0. Enjoy the ball game. Just as a reminder, enjoy a cold one. Look forward to Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. These hats are just everywhere. Now there's one that's has a heritage to it. Wow, that's original artwork right there. Music to go with it. I wonder what year that hat was given out. And the guy next to him's got the new one. That's an oldie but a goodie right there.
That's the one you first modeled.
That
I
is the one I first
last
modeled. Yeah, I had that one. That was for those of us of another generation. Mine wasn't as decoratively attired, however, as that man's hat was. And that one found the way. You better be nice to me or we'll pull that picture up. Kim with an 0-1 count. Kim is 2 for 7 off Porcello, getting the start in left field. At bats have been few and far between for him as Buck Showalter tries to get everybody into the lineup. When you get Trey Mancini as hot as he has been, Smith playing in right field as hot as he's been, Trumbo getting time in the outfield, it's been tough to get the at-bats in for Young-Soo Kim. He'll foul it away. He does bring a 3-game hit streak into this ballgame.
Yeah, even with the limited playing time, it's unbelievable that he always finds a way to help produce. You know, have a good at bat, he'll draw a walk, he'll pick up a base hit. It's been pretty impressive that he stays so fresh and on his game.
Only 26 at bats last month. He'll bloop that one, and he's got an out at third as Sandoval backs up and puts it away. One down here in the second. Well, come on out to Oriole Park. Tomorrow, all fans are going to receive the Manny Machado starting lineup figure. A limited number of seats are available for the battle, and you can get your tickets at Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Manny, part of the giveaway tomorrow on the Saturday game, game 3 of the 4-game set. And the pitch is taken for a strike. J.J. Hardy, 367 lifetime average against Porcello. 0-1 delivery by the right-hander to him will be fouled back. Tomorrow it's going to be Dylan Bundy against David Price. How's that for a matchup? It'll be a Fox game tomorrow. We'll be back with you on Masson on Sunday, 1 o'clock. Rose Extra and 1:30 with Chris Tillman and Chris Sale. And that ball is going to go to right and will fall in for a base hit. And JJ continues putting up the numbers against Porcello. 1-out single.
Good piece of hitting right there by J.J. Hardy. Falling behind, and then 94-mile-an-hour fastball on top of the zone. Keeps the bat flat. Finds some outfield grass the other way. J.J. starting to pick it up with the bat.
And Caleb Joseph batting in the 9 spot, 0 for 3 in the ball game last night. He has had a couple of hits, 6 at bats against Porcello, as the Orioles pick up hit number 4, and the Red Sox right-hander will get it in there for a strike.
Take a look at Rick Porcello with runners on. He's pitching to a 252 clip. Not too good. He's been better than that in the past. All the other numbers elevated as well for Porcello. And none on 348. How about runners in scoring position? 299 on the year.
0-1 delivery on the way. Strike taken on the outside corner. Porcello last year, another one of those numbers that skyrocketed. Runners in scoring position last year was 255. This year 299. It's very strange. He's 4-9 lifetime against the Orioles with a 4.7 ERA. Caleb with an 0-2 count on him. Joseph watching as that one skims in. Leone able to make the stop on it. And Hardy will stay at first base.
The athletic pick right there. Big man sliding over, keeping it in front, and actually coming up ready to throw. Much like the Orioles catcher Castillo. He picks a ball. He's always looking to a base, throw behind a runner.
Vasquez caught last night. Leone has thrown out 8 of 16 trying to steal. 1-2 delivery on the way, and that's going to be a base hit into left field. Got that one up and couldn't put it by him, and the Orioles have runners at first and second with 1 out. Caleb with a single.
Yeah, it seems like that's the common theme for Porcello this year. Too many pitches elevated. Take a look here. The slider that never gets finished. Backs up and stays up, hovering over the middle of the plate, and Caleb Joseph just smashes it through the 5-6 hole.
Well, the Orioles a chance to add to their 2-0 lead here in the second inning. Top of the order, Smith led it off with a home run, his 5th of the year, getting his first against Porcello to go along with that 409 lifetime batting average he has against him. The Red Sox will go into the shift. It'll have to be a double play depth, though. And they'll have to keep an eye on Hardy. He's not going to steal, but they can't leave that third base position wide open. Smith will take the off-speed pitch for a strike.
Well, it's Seth Smith. Take a look at the StatCast. Home run. He jumped on 106 miles an hour off the bat. 20 degrees, so it is a line drive homer traveling over 400 feet. Mind you, that was the 8th pitch to start this ball game off for the Orioles offense. It was impressive in the first inning.
0-1 count. First and second for the O's. Smith foul tips that one at the plate. So Porcello will get ahead of him on an 0-2 count. Porcello's had 110 wins and 88 losses in his career, and as we said, only 28. A lot of games pitched through a lot of early years for the right-hander, with a 22-4 mark in the Cy Young Award last year. 0-2 count. Hardy short lead at second. And Smith will take the pitch up high, way up.
And just trying to change a little bit of the eye level after a couple breaking balls. And work the top of the zone. Porcello some trouble zone, in trouble right now. Any base runners on? The Orioles offense heating up at home.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Fouled away. Orioles last night went 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position, a low number, even though they scored 7 runs on 10 hits. All those home runs, of course, 4 of them. Didn't matter where the runners were on base. They came around from first and scored on those homers last night. So see what the Orioles can do with it. They're still #1 in the American League as a team in batting average with runners in scoring position. The Red Sox come in 3rd in the league. 1-2 again coming to Smith. Porcello's breaking ball gets away. Hardy's going to go. They got a chance at second base. They'll have him trapped. Hardy's already over at third. Run down Caleb Joseph. Hardy doesn't break, and the tag will be put on for the out. So Hardy got the big enough jump to go to third base. Caleb Joseph tried to follow him, could not. Gets caught in the rundown.
I'll tell you what, it's a great read by J.J. Hardy, recognizing that ball in the dirt. So he's got a good look at it, but Caleb at first base, he's got to look at the ball, then he's got to check J.J. Hardy, see if he's breaking. So there was some hesitation, and just a little bit late there, and the Red Sox able to run the rundown perfectly to get the second out. It is a tough read for that trail runner. It's got to kick away where you feel comfortable. It's too much time to glance up and check the lead runner and make sure.
And the count goes to 2-2 on Smith. Now the defense will change entirely as they will move Sandoval over to the second base side. They'll put Rutledge, the second baseman, way out in the outfield. And Hardy at third base will walk halfway to the plate on Porcello's delivery. There is nobody near him at third. 2 ball, 2 strike count. And Smith will foul that one off the other way. It's still an RBI opportunity here, but that's could prove to be a pretty big play here, and chance now for Porcello to get out of the inning.
Yeah, that's right. These outs are golden right now, and you got to keep the pressure on this starting pitcher of the Red Sox. Try to get into the bullpen as soon as possible. He's on the ropes right now. 2 hits might do it.
Cal remains at 2-2. Porcello's thrown 3 wild pitches this year. Ball put up in the air, right field. Betts comes in and will put it away. So no runs on 2 hits, no errors, and a base runner left on 2 complete. Orioles up 2-0. have hit at least 4 home runs. That's tied with the Astros and Yankees for the most such occasions in the majors. The Orioles have led or tied for the lead in the majors in games of this type in each season, 2014, 15, and 16. And we've talked about the 2-out RBIs. The batting average now with 2 outs, runners in scoring positions 302, second best in the league, and the 2-out runs are up to 106, and that is third best in the American League. Offensive pluses for the Orioles.
Yeah, like to see that. Good numbers.
And the pitch will be taken for a strike. Rutledge at the plate at second base, 1 for 4 in the ball game last night. Some thought Marrero might start at second tonight with Sandoval at third. John Farrell decided otherwise today. It'll go to Hardy, to Davis. 1 away, third inning. On Memorial Day, the Orioles, proudly along with the rest of Major League Baseball, honored those who made the ultimate sacrifice wearing the Memorial Day jerseys and caps. You can go to Orioles.com/auction and bid on these items. Each jersey cap autographed, authenticated, and the proceeds benefit the Fort Meade Alliance Foundation. The bidding will close on Tuesday at 10 p.m. Apparel such as you see the 2 hats there. And the pitch taken down low. Sandoval, switch hitter, came on late in the game last night, 0 for 2. He's just getting back off the DL. 1-0 delivery fouled away.
I think this is his first start defensively. Actually, a couple starts DHing, swinging the bat pretty well, but sprained the right knee. And missed a little bit of time.
Red Sox trying to figure out just how they're going to work some of their personnel at this point. 1-1 delivery. That one in the air to left field, driven back near the wall, and goodbye home run. A line drive that had just enough on it to clear the fence. And the Orioles may want to look at that as to whether or not there was fan interference. The Oriole infielders think there was. Sandoval will cross. If it stands up, it is a 2-1 game.
Yunsu Kim getting a little bit turned around right there. Hard time timing the jump. Looked like that ball got up well up and over the fence there.
Yep. Then no challenge there, but Showalter took a look at it as video people did, and he says, nope, that's good. Not a very good defensive play.
No, lucky he didn't catch that one in the chops.
So Sandoval delivers the home run, his 4th of the season, picks up the RBI. That'll be the 6th home run surrendered by Asher this year. And Leone at the plate, switch hitter, did not play in the ball game last night. So the Orioles lead 2-1. Shift on. Leone will take the pitch under the arms, and that one is going to miss. Leone and Vasquez have shared the catching duties this year so far for the Red Sox. Leone 308 right-handed, 200 left-handed. Of course, the left-handed at bats have been up there, 75 of them. 3 of his 4 home runs have been hit from this side of the plate. So Sandoval returning. That's the kind of bat the Red Sox need from him. 2-1 pitch on the way, and ripped at one that was up and away.
Yeah, Sandoval just kind of touching a pitch away, jumped out of the park down the left field. It's a good fastball. Caleb wanting it down low though, but it rides up and away at 92 miles an hour. Leone thinks it's going to hug that corner, but it takes off. Look at that, about a foot off the plate.
That one's hit deep and down the line, but it is going to be a foul ball. But Showalter talking about the starter, Alec Asher, today, said obviously you got to have the fastball command, get those numbers down with none on base. And he said the one thing Asher's got to have tonight, he's got to have a curveball. Said you cannot continue to throw fastballs to the Red Sox team and think you're going to get it by them. You've got to have the curve at least available so that they got to think about it. And he didn't think in the last start he had that breaking ball available.
Yeah, you got to have something to offset the rhythm and timing. And Asher's game plan, we talked about the sinker slider combination, and at times he'll throw more of the cutter. So they're similar in velocity. You really need the slow breaking ball.
That one will be picked up, and the tag will be put on for the strikeout of Leone.
A pretty good out pitch right there. Burying a breaking ball in the dirt. 81 miles an hour here. Get ahead. Good idea to bury it. Well executed from Asher. Pick up the second out. Leone goes down swinging.
Caleb puts the block on it, then picked it up and put the tag on. So there are 2 down. Asher now with 3 strikeouts. Retired the first 7 before the home run by Sandoval. Betts flied out to center field his first time up. Betts will take the off-speed pitch. He's going to be in there for a strike. Betts with a 2 for 6 lifetime off Asher. Hitting only 179 against the Orioles this year, compared with a 275 lifetime average.
Yeah, nice to see the Orioles finally able to keep him quiet
after last year.
Yeah.
Asher's 1-1 delivery on the way. The slider moving away, will miss outside.
Oh, nice try right there. Slider as it starts off on the plate. Goes it hard, 88 miles an hour. Just works off the edge, but Betts recognizing it just in time.
2-1 delivery. And that's right there for a strike at the knees. Betts right now has got a unique position he holds. He's the only player in the league who's had 50 or more hits, 15 or more doubles, and 30 or more RBIs. Very productive first 2 months. Again, Asher working him away, and the count goes full, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, worked a couple sliders away. You see the 3rd and 5th pitches, cutters, the 1st and the 4th. Well, the 4th, especially the 2-seam fastball.
That'll be hit in the air to center field. That'll send Jones back. He's got it lined up, though, and Adam will put it away. I guess Betts and Jones have got a thing going. Started last night when he robbed him of a home run. He still can't get one over his head.
Alex Wells, Australian kid, 20 years old. Last year at 19, pitched to a 2.15 earned run average in Aberdeen. Love what he's doing in the promotion in Delmarva this year. 7 innings pitched, just 3 hits, no earned runs, 5 punch outs last night against Hickory on the year, pitching to a 1.74. He has been dominating in Delmarva this season, facing the Shorebirds for sure.
Here we've got a 2-1 Orioles lead, sunset time on a beautiful evening. Great to have you with us. Adam Jones will lead it off, Machado and then Trumbo. Adam, a strikeout victim, his first time up. Orioles looking to put 3 W's back to back to back if they can get another one here in game 2 of this set. Adam goes after the first one. Pablo, Sandoval's throw. Jones on a pitch is retired. On Sunday, all fans 14 and under will receive the youth bat and ball set presented by Play Ball. So you can gear up for the Birdland summer while you and your family have a great outing here at the ballpark. Red Sox game 1:35. The kids 4 to 14 can run the bases after the game. Tickets going fast. Get yours at Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. Youngsters on hand here tonight doing what all smart youngsters do. Eat.
Yeah. Oh,
anything and everything.
Oh yeah.
Here's Manning. Machado delivering the home run. Came in the first inning. One down, nobody on here. Manny with number 11 on the year. Porcello's 0-1 pitch.
Let's take a look at the StatCast home run by Manny Machado. It is a big ball, 114 miles an hour off the bat, 27 degrees to get it up into the second deck. 465. That is a bomb from Machado. That's only the second ball up in the second deck since Mark Reynolds did it back in 2011.
It's a long way. That's a long fly ball. And that is the 5th home run Manny's had against the Red Sox. With all that's gone on with Manny and the Bo Sox this year, he's hit 5 home runs and has 10 RBIs against him. That's the way you answer any and all things. Pedroia, of course, on the DL, out here for this series. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Porcello's delivery to him. Manny right back into the glove. Makes the flip over.
And take a look at Porcello strike percentage by pitch type. That slider 75.2%, 70% on the fastball. Change up pretty good. Nearing 70%. Inconsistencies with the curveball, but at times you want to flip it in there for a first pitch strike, and then you want to bury it for a swing and miss. So percentage is not bad. The problem is where on the plate are those strikes being thrown.
Yeah. Trying to figure out what was going on with him today. Trumbo, by looking at the numbers, it's very hard to do regarding Porcello. Trumbo flied out his first time up. He throws 70% first pitch strikes. How could a guy who throws 70% first pitch strikes give up 88 hits in 68 innings? And I looked to see what the average was. Well, when he gets a first pitch strike, hitters hit 221. That's great. But if he doesn't throw that first pitch strike, hitters hit 379.
Ouch.
So every time he gets behind a guy, they're getting a hit off him. 1-1 delivery on the way, and the pitch will miss away. I don't know, it's just very, you look at it and you say for Porcello, you know, a couple of things happen for him and he can turn the whole thing around in a hurry. Because even though those hit numbers are up, the ERA is not that much higher. The run production support, as we said, is not good for him. So he could still get plenty of time to turn it around and have a good year for them and lower those hit numbers. And the ERA doesn't have to go much lower. If he gets under 4, he'll be in pretty good shape.
Oh, absolutely. And the fact that he can eat up some innings as well.
Yeah.
You know, he isn't an early exit guy. He's getting in there 6th, 7th inning.
2-ball, 2-strike count. Mark Trumbo waiting on it with 2 down. Mark will fly that one away down the right side. And Trumbo holds the count at 2-2. Mark has obviously really picked the pace up for the Orioles right when they needed it most, when there were a few slumping in the latter half of May. Mark Trumbo started to come through for the Orioles, not just with the long ball but also with the RBIs, and that made a real difference. 2-2 delivery, and that one's popped up. Sky shot to second. Betts will come in from right, call for it, and we'll put it away. So a 1-2-3 inning for Porcello. We've completed 3 here at Camden Yards. The Orioles with a lead. To you by the all-wheel drive RAV4. Toyota, what drives you? Visit buyatoyota.com for great deals. Orioles trying to make some more hay here at home, where they have done really well. Orioles are 18-8 here at Camden Yards this year. They've got the best home record in the American League. It is the third best record in the majors. And the Orioles, this homestand, of course, continuing with another couple of games against the Red Sox, and then the Pirates will be coming in for 2, so can really make some ground before they have to go back out on the road. Here's Benintendi, a strikeout victim, his first time to the plate. Bogarts and then Moreland due up for Boston against Asher. No walks, 3 strikeouts. Porcello, no walks and 1 strikeout. Smith and Machado, home runs in the first inning for the Orioles, and Sandoval, a home run in the 3rd inning for Boston.
And Asher's looking pretty good, kind of settling into this ball game. Throwing strikes with all his offerings, quick innings. Hasn't had a lot of pressure put on him. Looks kind of calm out there, doesn't he? Very poised young man on the mound.
25 years old. He's been with a number of organizations, so he's gotten a feel for the game inside out from a number of clubs. That one's going to be pulled and fouled off. So you realize, I think after all that he's gone through, we're at a point where, look, if I'm going to do something here, I got to do it. I have to do it.
Right?
Yep.
I think it comes down to that for a lot of players. And trusting your own ability.
1-2 delivery will lean him back a little bit.
Now Asher likes to pitch in with that cut fastball. Run a couple in there, and if a lefty starts pulling it foul, that's when he starts to work the 2-seamer in there.
And that ball into the shift. Jonathan Scope, big slow hop, and we'll record the out on Benintendi. Ocean City, Maryland is hosting the social media weekend at the Masson booth on Utah Street, Saturday and Sunday. Follow at Masson Orioles on Twitter for chances to win all weekend long and for more info. Plus, ride out the wave and come meet Ocean City, Maryland spokes guard Rodney. That'll be on Sunday, June 4. That'll be at the Masson tent on Utah Street. And you'll be especially recognizable and observable and appreciated if you have on those shirts. Are we going out there Sunday to meet Rodney? We are.
Absolutely.
We are going out there. So we will, in the open on our broadcast on Sunday, we will be out there in Utah Street welcoming Rodney. And the pitch is taken for a strike. Select my wardrobe appropriately. We'd have the Hawaiian shirt and the floppy hat, holding the Manny Machado at bat.
Yeah.
Huh?
Absolutely.
Right there. That's where we'll be, right out there. There's a very slim chance with the Masson booth where it's located, that upon leaving our taping could possibly go by Boog's barbecue.
Oh.
And maybe bring something back. I'm not sure. I don't
sounds
know.
good.
God, don't know. We'd even get Rodney one.
Oh,
we could treat Rodney to a Boog's barbecue sandwich.
Yep.
Can a lifeguard eat a barbecue sandwich? Is that all right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Don't want to spoil the chance for saving people. Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way, and it is outside. When you were playing Little League, do you have everybody tell you that you couldn't go swimming the day you were going to pitch or play?
Oh yeah, all kinds of those.
Did you hear
things.
all that stuff?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I missed so many good days in the river because people were telling me that. It was all false. That'll be handled at third base. Manny Machado over to get it, and Bogarts is retired. Asher getting some pretty, no outs easy at this level, but he's getting some balls that aren't hit very hard for outs.
Yeah, well, this is the key, and Buck Showalter kind of alluded to it without having that curveball in his last outing. He's keeping this Red Sox lineup off balance. They're kind of guessing and in between right now. A lot of soft contact, a lot of weak pop-ups to the infield. Got it rolling.
2 down, nobody on, and that will bring Moreland to the plate. Moreland popped out his first time up. Moreland's had a hot bat, 366 over the last 13 games he's been in. Pitch will miss down low. He leads the team also in walks. He's got 26 of them. It's good enough for 14th most in the league. Veteran Moreland sharing some time at first base for the moment, at least. Travis started there in the ball game last night. They would like to get Ramirez perhaps playing some. Ramirez, though, has not gone to first base, concerned about injuries he's had in the past, and I think probably not really wanting to go to first base, in all honesty.
Yeah, he's had a hard time defensively.
DH.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Came up as a young shortstop with actually the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Moved around a little bit, came back, played some left field.
Moreland will foul that one off, go off the tarp. They're reluctant to play Sandoval at third base, but if Ramirez wants to DH, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You got too many people looking to play in the same position or lineup spot.
All right.
So that's something the Red Sox are trying to deal with right now. Ramirez is the DH. 2-1 delivery on the way, and that's going to stay foul. Caleb Joseph kept looking at it. Moreland kept looking at Joseph and decided he better start running because the ball started rolling back towards the line.
Yeah, Caleb would have let it keep rolling if Moreland hadn't started running down the line. And Moreland started to feel a little uncomfortable. Started to make a move. They're having a little laugh about it right now.
Caleb telling him you better run. 2 ball, 2 strike count with 2 down. And the delivery is going to be up high. So a 3 ball, 2 strike count. Moreland trying to keep it alive and get on with Ramirez, the designated hitter, waiting on deck. Orioles winning last night by a score of 7-5 against this Red Sox team, which has put up good numbers on the road this year. They're averaging almost 5.5 runs on the road. And a swing and a miss. Ate him up on a pitch down and in. Alec Asher gets his 4th strikeout, retires the side in order for the 3rd time. Bobby at night at the ballpark, and so far for the Orioles a 2-1 lead. Coming in the first inning on the home runs by Smith and Machado off Porcello. Orioles back to work here, bottom half of the 4th. Davis a base hit, his first time up. And Chris will foul off the delivery at 75 as he starts him out with a changeup.
Really taking a lot off that one. Get Davis out in front and just steal a strike on the slow breaking ball. Actually, Chris Davis was all over that pitch. Staying back, seeing the ball well.
Right-hander's 0-1 delivery on the way. Davis another off-speed pitch at 71 that time, and that's going to miss outside for a ball. Orioles first baseman. One of the hot bats going in the lineup. 1-1 pitch to him. Chris will take a pitch down and away. Full shift put on against him here. Yankees playing that other big series in Toronto regarding the American League East standings. And he went around on that one. Yankees jumped all over Toronto in the ball game last night. Toronto trying to do the same against them tonight, as they have taken an early 4-0 lead in the ball game in Toronto. Pineda's on the mound for the Yankees in that one. 2-2 delivery on the way, and there's one he wanted. Teed up for the fastball.
Yeah, there's the pitch that's probably given Porcello the problems this year. Trying to get a 2-strike fastball in on the hands of big lefty. Leaks back over the heart of the plate. And lucky he didn't get hurt there. See the 5th pitch actually ended up on that outer third, but catching too much of the white. Leon wants it on the inside corner.
2-2 delivery on the way and came inside. Somehow Chris got a hold of that and was able to foul it off. That was a jam shot in the top hand. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Chris Davis against the Red Sox. .286 this year. He's had a couple of home runs, 3 RBIs against Boston in the first 10 games these teams have played. 2-2 pitch on the way. It was interesting just the way the schedule worked out. I mean, the Orioles have played the Yankees and the Red Sox a lot early on. They played a lot in the East. The Red Sox have only played the Yankees twice so far this year. For Buck Showalter and the Orioles, Yankees came in here and played. It was Memorial Day. They won't be back here till Labor Day.
Wow.
Orioles will be in New York between then. 2-2 pitch and again foul back. Big battle here. Davis fights it off.
Yeah. Chris has had some pitches to hit. 2-strike pitches that have been all over the white of the plate. So we're just reaching back and challenging him right now.
David Price going to pitch tomorrow. 2-ball, 2-strike count. And Porcello will step off. Ninth pitch of the at bat. Let's do it again. Just missing. Chris is on barreling those balls up that he's fouling right straight back.
Yeah, he is. Pretty short, compact swings, though. Not getting too big. Letting it travel, and look at the plate just filled up with pitches. Man, dangerous.
6 foul balls in this at bat so far. 2-2 delivery on the way, and that's going to be inside. So Chris works the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Chris, of course, over the past seasons has been up there among the leaders in walks. He is outside of the top 10 for the moment. 3-2 pitch and caught him looking.
Best pitch of the AB right there. Chris Davis worked him well. Take a look at the changeup here. 83 miles an hour. He starts off at that front hip and he turns it over a little bit. Look at it fade back over that inside corner for strike 3. A good battle. Porcello winning that one.
Grit your teeth as you walk away. Strikeout. Here's Jonathan Scope, popped out his first time up. We have 3 of the top 10 doubles hitters in the American League in this game. Jonathan Scope's got 15 of them. He is 6th. Mookie Betts, Mitch Moreland each have 16, and they are tied for 3rd. 1-0 delivery. That's going to be a base hit into center field. And Jonathan Scope's got a 6-game hit streak, and the Orioles get one on here in the 4th with 1 away. For every Orioles walk, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50, supporting the American Diabetes Association. 140 walks, $7,000. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Young-Soo Kim lined out his first time up. Kim with a start in left field. He's had a couple of hits and 9 at bats against Boston this year. 1 down. Scope back to the bag. Not a big lead.
And Jonathan Scope probably not stealing. Porcello Maybe catching him napping over there, trying to steal a quick out.
Base steal is 4 for 6 against Porcello. But you got Leone, who's thrown out 8 out of 16 behind the plate. Off the inside pitch, fouled away. Can you think of the most interesting conversation you ever had at first base? That's a loaded question. I give you time.
Well,
0-1 count that can be told. Swing and a miss. I've always wished we could be in on some of those, because you know there are great conversations going on
right.
down there.
Yeah.
And they don't look at each other, and players are chatting away.
Yeah, a lot of times it's about the starting pitcher.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got some good stuff tonight, or holy cow, how's anybody hit him, or he doesn't have it tonight. And you hope that the first baseman isn't in a slump, or because then you feel bad if you get a base hit,
0-2 delivery on the way, and that protect swing goes down the line, foul.
Yeah, most first base would come over, give you a little tap, say, hey, way to swing it, man, and say, yeah, you too. Oh, wait, sorry about that.
You're in a
slump, huh?
Did you ever have a catcher who wouldn't shut up?
Yeah, yeah.
An opposing team?
Not a big fan of that either.
No.
Oh, man.
Yogi was like that. Yogi Berra had a reputation as he talked to everybody, and you had to tell him to stop, apparently, if you were a hitter. 0-2. That ball is put into right field for a base hit. Jonathan Scope's headed over to third base. Betts coming. Here, going to wave him home. Bobby Dickerson with the arm going. Here's the throw to the plate. There is none. Scope scores a double by Kim. And the great Kim comes through. Put him in the game. I will deliver.
And he does. Yeah, what an at-bat. Third double of the season. A big RBI right there for Hyun-Soo Kim, and he gets an up and in fastball. He was targeting that hole with Jonathan Scope at first base. He gets the bat head to that heater, smashing it down the right field line. Jonathan Scope on his horse. Pretty good turn right there, and Bobby Dickerson saying, go ahead, you got it. Running the base as well, easily scoring on that head first dive. And a big hit by Hyun-Soo Kim.
Kim picks up his 4th RBI on his 3rd double, and the Orioles have a 3-1 lead. Only one away, and that'll bring J.J. Hardy to the plate with a runner in scoring position. And Hardy will take the pitch away for a ball. So 7 hits in the ball game off Porcello. And J.J. looking for an RBI chance. Great jump by Scope off first base. He saw that going over towards the line. Pitch taken at the knees. And Hardy 1-1. J.J. 240 in the month of May. Picked that average up in the latter part of it when he got hot. Jonathan on the right with Adam. 1-1 pitch, and that will miss, low and away.
Man, having a hard time. It seems like he's behind every hitter.
As we said, that's real bad news for him based on the numbers.
He's had to work. Tough first inning. I'm working again here in the 4th.
He's up almost 2 pitches per inning from last year. 2-1 delivery. That's going to go to short. Diving for it. Bogaerts has got it.
Some good base running right there by Hyun-Soo Kim.
Well, Oriole fans, when the O's score 5 runs or more, get 50% off regular menu price online orders at papajohns.com with the promo code Orioles5. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Hyun-Soo Kim, you're kind of taught to freeze on a line drive, but no taking chances in the middle of the infield. A bullet, and Hyun-Soo Kim, he got back to second base in a hurry. Any hesitation, and Bogaerts probably would have flipped it on to Rutledge.
And a breaking ball ties up Caleb Joseph. Caleb with a base hit his first time up, then got caught in a rundown and was taken out between first and second. 1 run in, another in scoring position here in the 4th. Big lead off second base for Kim. Caleb on a cut late on that 91-mile-an-hour fastball.
Porcello having a hard time getting the fastball in on the right-handers. making some mistakes on the plate. Caleb Joseph's numbers with runners in scoring position pretty solid at 350. 7 stakes.
0-2 delivery to him. Caleb again on a fastball, up and away. So Porcello will get the strikeout, his third. A run in on a couple of hits, no errors. 1 left on base. Orioles extend their lead. Scope scoring run number 3. Brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you, and by American Standard Heating and Air. Go to MidAtlanticComfort.com for special offers and to find a dealer near you. Just a beautiful night here at the ballpark, and the Orioles so far taking advantage of it with a 3-1 lead on the board. Note, only 1 hit. Pablo Sandoval, 3rd inning for the Red Sox. That's the run off Asher. He has walked none. He has struck out 4 and has pretty much dominated here in this ball game, getting pop-ups and along with the 4 strikeouts.
Yeah, pretty efficient, throwing strikes, mix up his pitches, looking in and out, top of the zone, bottom. It's pretty good to this point.
5th inning, Hanley Ramirez popped out his first time up, and Ramirez will take it for a strike, and he's doing it against this Boston team, which has the 4th most runs per game on the road in Major League Baseball. Astros, Mets, Nationals, and Red Sox are ranked 1, 2, 3, 4 in runs produced in road games this year. 0-1 delivery, lifted high in the air, was off the end of the bat. That'll be handled by Kim for the out. Ramirez is retired. Say, don't miss your chance to meet Orioles pitcher Alec Asher, the man who's on the mound right now. He'll sign autographs and meet fans at the Orioles team store in the York Galleria. He'll be on hand from 11:30 to 12:30 on Tuesday, June 6th. For details, go to OriolesReach.com. 1 away here in the 5th inning. That'll bring up Jackie Bradley Jr., strikeout victim, his first time up. Orioles put the shift on in the infield, and the pitch will be away for a ball.
Still respecting the speed and the scope in on the dirt. Manny Machado in tight, honoring that bunt.
It's taken down low. Talked about the Yankee-Toronto game that's going on, and obviously these 2 teams in the East, the other East teams out west. Tampa Bay's at Seattle, open up a series tonight. Rays, of course, have had a surge to get right back into it. Tampa Bay 2 games above 500. They're just 4.5 behind the Yankees. They're only a game behind the Orioles coming into today's play. And they've had great run production and knew they'd have good pitching, and that has continued. Tampa Bay pitchers opponents hitting 196 with runners and scoring against them in a couple of outs, so they're not giving up those late inning runs, that break your back. 2-ball, 2-strike count. Inside to him. They'll go full 3-2. Rutledge waiting on deck. And on the full count, it'll be fouled away. Oh, Jackie Bradley Jr. hanging in.
Yeah, good job prolonging the at bat.
Bradley's got 30 strikeouts to the 17 walks that he has picked up this season. 7 home runs. Asher tries it again. 3-2 delivery. Seen a number of these at bats by both teams tonight that have extended 7, 8, 9 pitches. Asher's been able to get the better of it, and Porcello is not.
You see those quality pitches in that outer third with the 2-seam fastball. It misses in. It's well in off the plate.
Full count delivery. Try it one more time.
Yeah, where Asher's been able to locate the fastball, Porcello's had some problems with location here early on. He's pretty lucky that it's just a 3-1 ball game, to be honest with you.
Yep. Again, 3-2 delivery, and that one's going to be put in the air to right. Smith will back up a little bit now. Sess got it. And there are 2 down. Our Heritage Automotive Road ahead. Heritage Automotive offering you 20 convenient locations throughout the Baltimore area. Visit them in store or online at heritagedealers.com.
Yeah, playing the Red Sox tomorrow. Of course, the game will be on Fox, but you can listen to it on the Orioles radio network. Sunday, it'll be 1:30 on Masson. Then the Pirates coming into town on Tuesday and Wednesday, both 7 o'clock starts on Masson.
Pitchers have been set for all of those games. Bundy and Price tomorrow. Tillman and Sale on Sunday. Pitch taken for a strike. Rutledge. Orioles get a day off on Monday, and Kevin Gausman of on Nova in the Pirates game 1. Wade Miley, Chad Cole in Pirates game 2. Breaking ball is going to miss outside. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Rutledge grounded out his first time up. His 5th start at second base this season. That'll go to Manny Machado. He's got it over there in time. And a 1-2-3 inning for Asher. Orioles maintaining their lead, and there are miles to do up. Smith, Jones, and Machado.
Things going. 8 pitch at bat. clubbing his 5th home run of the season, 400 feet away. But how about Manny Machado? 114 miles off the bat, 465 feet away. And since 2011, we visited the second deck here at Camden Yards. How about Jonathan Schoop? Turning on the burners, 18.9 miles per hour, first to home, almost 11 seconds. Jonathan Schoop sliding in for that 3rd run, bottom of the 5th. The Orioles having the lead. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Visit geico.com to see how much you could save.
Porcello trying to get win number 4 on the year, 3-6. He has already lost to the Orioles once this year, 4-9 lifetime. No walks, 3 strikeouts. Orioles bat here in the 5th. Smith led off the ball game for the Orioles with his 5th home run. Picking it up and giving the Orioles the early lead. Machado followed a couple of batters later with his 11th home run, and then the RBI by Kim in the 4th. Smith with an 0-1. Flied out right field his 2nd time to the plate. Delivery to him will be chopped on the top of it, foul.
Good change-ups here early in the count. And tried to establish that fastball command early on in the game. It's just missing. A couple pitches. Kind of labored through this ball game with some inconsistencies, but quick 2 strikes here in the 5th on Seth.
Here's the 0-2 delivery on the way to him, and that's in there for a strike. 4 Ks.
Well, this is when he's at his best. The command of that 2-seam fastball in the inside corner. Away from righties into lefties. See how it works back over, catching that inner 3rd. After a couple off-speed pitches away, plays that fastball up and gets the good late movement. A quick 1st out.
Red Sox pitchers have put up the best strikeout to walk ratio in the majors coming into this ball game. Porcello's walked only 13 while striking out 72 this year. Overall, the Red Sox a 3.87 strikeout to walk ratio. A breaking ball. Adam Jones has struck out and grounded out. Adam this year, a couple of home runs, 5 RBIs against the Red Sox. 0-1 by Porcello to him, inside out center field. Bradley's there to put it away. Jones retired. 2 down. Well, let's everybody smile. It is Friday after all. Dominion National providing innovative, high-value dental and vision benefits to area employers and individuals. Manny up with a 1-for-2 with a home run, 3 hits, 6 at bats so far in the first 2 games, and as we said, Manny has 5 home runs and 10 RBIs against the Red Sox this year. Porcello's pitch to him will be fouled away.
Porcello starting Orioles off with off-speed pitches here to try to get ahead. And he has done that. First pitch strike to all 3. See, the first pitch strikes 15-21 in the ball game.
And the pitch low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Pitch count wise, he's thrown over 100 pitches in all but 2 of his starts. 118. The most he's thrown in the ball game. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery. Manny will take that one away. Craig Kimbrel today was named as the American League reliever of the month for the month of May. There's Kimbrel. The Orioles would just as soon not have to see him. In the air to right field, over in the corner. Betts giving chase. And he runs it down. So only took 9 pitchers to record the 3 outs. Couple of fly balls and a strikeout. Pitchers duel. Orioles up by 2. Is Chuck Peel. He's been involved for over 24 years with the Helping Up mission. It is a homeless shelter for men in Baltimore. He's been a member of the board of directors and the board president, growing that institution to serve more than 500 men in residence at the Helping Up mission. So Chuck Peel, thank you, and recognized here at the ballpark tonight.
Good stuff right there. Yep.
Long service. 24 years. So right now, going into the 6th inning, Alec Asher's throwing a one-hitter. Sandoval's home run in the 3rd inning. That has been it for the Red Sox. And here is Sandoval. He will take the pitch for a strike. Leone, and then the top of the order, Betts. Sandoval just getting back off the DL. Obviously a limited number of at-bats compared to the other starters. A big cut. Only his 20th game, only 68 at-bats. Sandoval 176 right, 260 left. He has all 4 of his home runs have been hit left-handed. Turning back, 1 ball, 2 strike count.
And there was a while they were talking about him forgetting about that right-handed swing.
Yeah. It's been a discussion seemingly like the last 3-4 years for Sandoval. 1-2 delivery to him. He really reached on that one. Machado knows he's got time, makes the play. 1 down. Orioles baseball on Masson is brought to you by Ocean City. Put your vacation days to good use in Ocean City. Book now at OCOcean.com. And by Navy Federal, proudly serving the armed forces and their families for over 80 years, federally insured by NCUA. Wellington Castile back in the dugout on the 10-day DL. Looking as though it won't have to be extended at all. That's good news for the groin injury. Leone, a strikeout victim, his first time up. And Leone will take one at the knees for a strike.
Man, Asher's making some good pitches in this ball game. Locating well with everything. How about that location down at the bottom of the zone?
1-1, leans away. Doesn't let you get very settled in the box because, as you mentioned, Mike, his willingness to come up and in on those pitches. You don't want to dig in.
You got that right. He will brush you back in a hurry.
2-1 delivery on the way. And that's going to miss down low. Leone, the 28-year-old out of Maracaibo in Venezuela with Boston last year, hit .310, played in 78 games, got 250 at-bats. Asher with a 3-1 delivery to him, and that's going to go to center field. Jones coming. It's going to stay up. No, falls in for base hit. So the Red Sox get their second hit, a 1-out single here in the 6th inning. Lock in your Birdland summer. Reserve your seats for the upcoming promotions, including the Orioles grayscale cap, the Dylan Bundy t-shirt, and the infielders bottle stopper set. You get your tickets at Orioles.com/tickets or 888-848-BIRD.
I love the whole set.
I do.
You got to get 4 bottles, right?
Not a problem. Betts has flied out to center twice. Adam Jones is ready, and the pitch said he went around on it. He didn't think so. Laz Diaz, home plate umpire, did.
Trying to be aggressive on a first pitch fastball. 2-seamer running hard in right when he's about to pull the trigger. There's no, but Laz Diaz says yes, yes, yes. John Farrell still letting him know.
Runner off first base, and the 0-1 delivery. A slider that's going to be away. Betts has gone 0 for 6 first 2 games here. John Farrell's ball club. Last year on the road, they were 11 games over 500. Right now they are 2 below 500, and a 12 and 14 mark in road games. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery. Breaking ball. Had him out in front of it, but it wasn't in there. 2-1.
Good breaking ball, though. Well placed. He's flipped enough in there for strikes to keep this Red Sox team honest. And Mookie was about to go after it. Just recognizing the spin a little too soon. Holds up with the location perfect. Down and away.
Very short lead. Leone at first. Hardy. Scope. Not in time. Fielder's choice will get Leone at second.
Well, Betts making it look easy running down that first base line. I think it was going to be a routine double play ball. He had to reach out on the cut fastball, so he gets about a half step, and wouldn't you know it, he beats it by about a half step.
So that'll keep the inning alive with a runner on at first base. Andrew Benintendi coming up. With a runner on, obviously, the Red Sox have the potential tying run at the plate in this a tight game. Benintendi's 0 for 2. He has struck out and grounded out. Batting 2 in the order. And the delivery to him will cut inside for a ball. A very tough May for Benintendi. Hit only .204. And Farrell over there talking to Leone, his catcher, making sure he was all right after the slide into second. Benintendi being counted on to give the Red Sox at B's in the outfield offense. Benintendi, Bradley, and Betts. And Benintendi just had a really tough May, so that has really knocked the average down. Red Sox need his bat to get going. 1-0 delivery to him. Ooh, Caleb Joseph.
Yeah, catching that up in that left shoulder area. A lot of padding in between there, and oh, and then a throat ball too. Man, oh, that's nasty.
As Diaz making sure he didn't topple over after he took that shot. 1 ball and 1 strike. Betts at first. Not really a running situation here with that 2-run differential for the Orioles. 1-1 delivery on the way. One after that one and fouls it straight back. Leone in the dugout just a couple of seconds ago. The trainer taking a look too. Assuming that came on the slide.
Yeah, he jammed it a little bit.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Shift on against Benintendi. Benintendi certainly hasn't hurt his average against the Orioles, hitting .313 against them this year. But 0 for 2 tonight. Asher's held Betts close. He wants that hitter though with 2 down. 1-2 delivery on the way and goes downstairs to follow it back.
Yeah, good change. We haven't talked a lot about Asher's changeup tonight. That's been a big secondary pitch as well. And he's made no mistakes with that pitch. Keeping it down at the bottom of the zone, playing it off that 2-seamer. Get some weak contact out in front. Almost a swing and miss there.
Benintendi trying to get out of an 0 for 15 he is in the moment. Asher wants to put another number on there and almost did with that pitch.
Yeah, nice try. Working that cutter in there. It was on the dish. Caleb tried to settle it down and in. Just on the upper edge.
Count goes 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's the lead at first base. And will come inside. So with Benintendi fouling some off and Asher being a little concerned about Betts over there at first base, kind of perhaps losing a little focus on this at bat. His only worry now will be Benintendi. See Bogarts on deck. Davis moves behind the runner at first base with a lefty up there. Full count delivery on the way, and we'll do it again.
There you go. Can't really rely on anything right now from Asher. He's got command of all of his pitches. He's moving it around the zone. And they're targeting up and away. That fastball rides through the zone. Making sure they're on the same page. Roger McDowell's got to be pleased with the last two pitching performances. Wade Miley flipping out a gem last night. And how about the efficiency here?
Orioles starters, particularly here at home, have really done a great job. 3 ball, 2 strike count. Runner goes. One more time. Taking a look, it was the number we had on the differential home and road ERA. Orioles have the 2nd largest in the majors to the Giants. 3.5 at home and 5.28 on the road. Go figure. Jim talks about that, Jim Palmer, all the time, and this should be the tougher ballpark. And struck him out. Bed one in over the corner. That's his 5th K. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base as Asher continues to dominate Boston. Look at what's going on elsewhere. Blue Jays are leading the Yankees tonight 5-0 5th. Laureano coming off the DL to make the start, and effective so far. No runs, 2 hits over 5. Justin Smoke's heated up for Toronto. 2 for 2, a homer, 3 driven in. Tampa Bay is going to be at Seattle tonight. Jake Odorizzi 1-1, 4 career starts against Seattle. He's had 21 no decisions since 2016. And Christian Bergman 2-2, 4.67 ERA, first career appearance against the Rays. Late start, Tampa Bay and Seattle. The Orioles trying to extend their lead. 3-1. Porcello will get the pitch inside to Trumbo. He has flied to center and right. Trumbo, Davis, and Jonathan Scope due up. No walks, 4 strikeouts for Rick Porcello. The 2 home runs in the first inning by Smith and Machado, and then the RBI double by Kim have accounted for the Oriole runs. The Sandoval home run in the 3rd for the Red Sox run.
After shaky as Porcello started out in this ball game, he's really getting into it right now, keeping the offense down. He scattered some hits, but coming up with some big outs.
There's room. Moreland over, and he'll put it away. And 1 down in the bottom of the 6th inning. RBI Baseball 2017 returns. Fast-paced, hiccup and play. MLB action is packed with all your favorite teams, players, ballparks, and more. RBI Baseball today. Get it for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and mobile devices. Learn more at rbigame.com. Chris Davis, a base hit. Called out on strikes. 5-game hit streak for Chris. Porcello's pitch to him will be taken up high. Chris, during the streak, has gone 5 for 14. He's had 2 home runs and 4 RBIs over the last 5 games. Porcello again. He's worked him with off-speed pitches in his at-bats primarily tonight.
Yeah, especially early in the bats, trying to slow him down, and then he'll try to get some fastballs by him. And that second at bat by Davis, see 11 pitches seen, so he's seeing a lot of pitches for AB.
2-0 fouled right straight back. And a 2-ball 1-strike count on Chris.
Well, the good news with Chris Davis starting to heat up a little bit, and he is a streaky offensive player, but when he gets it right, boy, he can put up some serious numbers offensively in a hurry.
2-1 pitch over the top. So Porcello over that 100 mark. You've seen no action in the Red Sox bullpen. There are a couple of people walking around, but nobody throwing yet. And the 2-2 delivery. Turned away from a pitch he thought was going to come in. It didn't, but neither was it in the strike zone. So the count's full, 3-2.
Pretty close, though. Kind of a wiffle ball action on that 89-mile-an-hour fastball. He was on the plate. Would have been a strike.
Full count delivery, and Davis fouls it off.
Well, that 11 pitch at bat that Davis had in the second inning was finished off by a nasty changeup. Down and in, a little two-seam variety.
Again, the full count delivery to him, and he is on. So the first walk surrendered by Porcello, a 1-out walk here in the 6th inning. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. 1 on and 1 down. Jonathan Scope, a base hit, a run scored, and he has popped out. Chris Davis gets his 27th walk of the season, leading the Orioles in free passes. Machado is second in that department for the Orioles with 22. Jonathan's extended his hit streak tonight with that base hit. He's now hit in the last 6. 0-1 count, 1 away. Kim waiting on deck. Porcello's pitch to him. Tried to yank that one. 0-2. First warm-up action we've seen. Heath Embry in the bullpen. Oh, and 2, 1 down, and up high.
I don't know if he's starting to run out of some steam, or if Leon's starting to call some high fastballs. A lot of times when pitchers get fatigued, they start losing the command up and away.
Shattered bat. And not going to make the play at first base. Ran up the arm of Moreland. Davis goes to third. A wild throw. Porcello way off balance. Jonathan Scope with a good speed gets to first, and then he bounced it and helped move Davis from second to third.
Yeah, great pitch here from Porcello. Hitting all on the knuckles of Jonathan Scope. Bat head goes and flies almost up into the stands, maybe the camera well. Porcello, good job getting to the baseball. Doesn't realize he's got more time and throws off balance. Moreland trying to corral it, but kicks up off the arm. Chris Davis hustles on into third base.
Carl Willis will make his way out. Embry is ready in the bullpen. Jonathan Scope will be credited with a single. An error charged, allowing Davis to move up to third base. The Red Sox defense has not been good this year. They're down near the bottom of the pile defensively in the American League, and particularly of late, last couple of weeks, the errors have piled up. That's their 40th error. The only team with more errors is Oakland. Telling Mike before the game, I was looking at it kind of shocked. Oakland's committed 55 errors and they've given up 40 unearned runs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Unbelievable.
So let's see if the Orioles can take advantage of it. Only one away. Kim RBI double in the fourth inning. First and third, one out. Breaking ball knocked down. Leon holds it in front of him.
Boy, got away with one there. Spike in the breaking ball just kicks right up into Leon's midsection. Good opportunity here for the Orioles. Push one across the plate.
Kim is 3 for 13 with runners in scoring position this year. Not a lot of chances. 1-0 delivery on the way. Porcello will get it in there for a strike. Kim is a 1 for 2 in this ball game, and he is 3 for 9. Lifetime off Porcello. Big potential runs on the bases for the Orioles here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Orioles have left a couple in scoring position. Only 3 total left on base. Red Sox have left only 1. Way up. You get the feeling that needle's down towards E on Porcello.
Yeah, I think so. And Orioles offense ought to be aware of that. Start just targeting up and out over. Soo Kim better look for a cookie here.
Two ball, 1 strikeout. Runners off first and third, and not close. 3-1. Porcello taking a deep breath on what could very well be the last batter he's going to face in this game. He's hoping for a ground ball, get the double play and get out of the inning. Kim 3-1. Ground ball, got it. Now he's got the runner trapped. This is not a forced play. Heads Davis back. Pablo Sandoval will tag him and get the out. Interesting.
Well, pretty smart play, really.
Yeah.
That run is of crucial importance, and you just never know on the comebacker. A little chopper. He had an opportunity to double play. Maybe not trusting that throw. It gets a little tough to flip it out there to second base and making sure the shore out and cutting down that run. And Chris Davis getting off third base.
Well, Porcello helps his cause with that defensive play. Runners at first and second now, with Kim reaching on the fielder's choice. And J.J. Hardy. Hardy a single, and he is lined out. Pinch runner's going to come on, Joey Rickert. So Rickert on for Kim. And will probably stay in the game in left field. So 2 away. And the Orioles again looking for an important 2-out RBI. Pitch will be taken away. J.J. Hardy. Hardy with that big 360+ average against Porcello. And has been hitting the ball well of late. So the Orioles, somebody at the plate who's been getting it done. 1-0 delivery to him. Hardy takes that one in for a strike, 1-1.
Yeah, JJ's been pretty consistent all year with runners in scoring position.
Oriole runners can take off on contact here with 2 away. And the ball fouled back and out of play. So Porcello will get ahead of him 1-2. A moment where the Red Sox are hoping. They haven't left their starter in 1 batter too many.
Yeah.
And Porcello hoping he can work his way through this while the Orioles want to get to him right now. One-two delivery on the way, and Hardy will take it up high.
He was waiting out that mistake. Made a couple early in the ball game, but he's cleaned himself up here. See the out distribution. Only 3 ground ball outs, 9 up in the air. With the 4 punch outs.
Consistent with his season as a fly ball pitcher. 2-2 delivery, and Hardy goes down. So Porcello got it done. He gets 5 strikeouts. The Orioles do not get a run and leave a couple on. They still lead it 3-1. Program here. Kevin and Taylor Gosman joining the Orioles On Deck Employee Volunteer Program. This is about Tails, T-A-I-L-S, with Tails, T-A-L-E-S. Collaboration between the Orioles and Barks, adoptable animals with school children as reading buddies, providing companionship to the animals and promoting reading comprehension and vocabulary development among the youth. Great program and great work by Kevin and Taylor Gosman. It's got to be great fun for the kids and the animals. Joey Rickert stays in the ballgame for Kim in left field. So it remains a very tight game. Asher's gone the distance. No walks, 5 strikeouts. We go to the 7th inning of this ball game. The Orioles 3-8-0. The Red Sox 1-2-1. Michael Givens, the first action in the bullpen for the Orioles. Have Bogaerts, Moreland, and Ramirez. Xander Bogaerts takes it on a bounce. He has popped out twice in the ball game, 0 for 6 in the first 2 of this 4-game set. 1-0 delivery to him, and he'll go to right, and that's a fair ball. He's going to make a big turn, and he's going to go. Here's the throw in, and he gets a double and stays on the bag. Seth Smith got to it in a hurry, but Bogaerts, from leaving the plate, had no intention of stopping at first.
All right, ball right out in front of him, just kind of serving it into right field, more towards that right field line. He knows the pace that's on this baseball, and it's not a lot. It's not going to make it to the wall. It's going to be dying right out there on the line. And he just challenges Seth Smith. Yeah, you're making a nice line to the baseball, but I got some pretty good speed, and he cuts it tight around first into second base, getting himself into scoring position.
That's the 3rd hit for Boston. That is the 64th hit for Bogaerts. He's 4th in the league in hits. And now the potential tying run back at the plate again. Moreland, he has popped out and struck out. First chance tonight with a runner in scoring position for Boston. Pitch on the way. That'll be fouled off outside of first. Take a look at our league leaderboard, brought to you by Coons.com. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting.
Now, one thing that makes the Red Sox so dangerous, how about most runs 7th inning or later? The Red Sox 105, just trailing the Astros. How about that 285 batting average? That's second in the American League. Get into the 7th inning and beyond. Red Sox are tough. So I'll put a little number on the board last night late in the ball game.
Yeah. So big at bat right here. 0-1 delivery on the way, and that'll be fouled off again. Same thing, same place.
Yeah, great
by
pitch.
Moreland.
Great pitch with the cutter, working it hard inside. Not a lot of lefty can do right there. Yank it foul. Try to stay inside that and have some lumber in your hands.
Moreland 333 with runners in scoring position for Boston. Home run Sandoval, single, 6th inning, picked up by Leone, double by Bogarts. 0-2 count. Went upstairs to protect. That'll end up in the seats foul. So Moreland battling Asher here, up to 94 pitches thrown. And this his 4th start of the year. 13th appearance. Porcello hoping for a little help. These are the kind of games he's been involved in starting this year for Boston. Very little run support. Asher ready in the 0-2 delivery, and that'll be skied. Coming back towards the screen. There's room, and Caleb Joseph puts it away.
That was a moonshot right there, right up the elevator shaft. Caleb Joseph making it look easy. Had to wait about 10 seconds for that one to come down.
And that's going to be it for Asher. He will come out of there here in the 7th inning. A very solid 6 1/3 start for the right-hander, and the fans will appreciate it as he leaves.
The year, 296 earned run average with the 26 punchouts in 27 1/3 innings of work, holding opponents down to that 214 batting average.
Runner on at second base, one away. Ramirez, and he'll take the pitch up high for a ball. For Givens against the Red Sox, six timeout, no runs, 3 hits, 5 innings. worked against the Red Sox this year. Double by Bogaerts. He's the runner at second base. And Hanley Ramirez has popped out, flied out. The DH will take the pitch on the outside corner for a strike. So the Orioles turn to their pen to try and preserve an Asher. We'll hope it works. Ramirez 0 for 3 lifetime off Michael Givens. 1-1 delivery to him late on Heat.
Well, Caleb wanting it down and away. I guess if you're going to miss, might as well go hard up and in. 96-mile-an-hour fastball here. Misses by 3 feet, but still very effective. 96 up around the neck.
Gets ahead on the count here, 1-2. And the pitch at 98 miles an hour taken away. Givens being called on to get big outs for the Orioles in these situations. Oftentimes the first out of the bullpen in tight ball games. You know, there's a scoring opportunity for the opponent. Some trust in the right-hander. 2-2, and that's why at 97.
Yeah, there's some noise coming out of that right arm from the side, slinging it across. Tough angle here. He's holding some good velocity here lately. 97. It is in the glove and by you. Orioles pitchers really handling Ramirez tonight. Good fastball there from Givens.
Givens worked against the Yankees last outing on the 31st. Inning in 2/3. Couple of strikeouts. Didn't give anything up. Jackie Bradley Jr. 2 down. Bradley will foul it away. Bradley's not had a hit against Givens and only 2 at bats. 0 for 2. Oh, 1 count, 2 down. Leadoff double by Bogaerts. Red Sox have not been able to move him. 0-1 pitch. Did he go? Nope. Kind of swung the body around, but not the bat.
Take a look, trying to get the body going and catch up with this Givens fastball. The hip leaves, but the bat head stays back. Nice job holding up.
1 ball, 1 strike count. Mano a mano. 1-2.
It's tough to pick up. That's the different angle that hitters aren't used to. It's coming at him hot. A lot of life through the zone.
One-two delivery on the way, and it is away. So the count will even up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. 7th inning here at Camden Yards. The Orioles trying to take the first 2 of this 4-game set. Porcello has gone the distance for Boston. Asher out. Givens now in. That ball's going to be a base hit and RBI. Bradley delivers. Bogaerts the turn. He'll stay at first base. Jones gets it in. Good hustle by Adam. Ball gets away, backed up. No throw to first base. So Bradley comes through with a 2-out RBI, and Bogaerts is in, and it's a 1-run game.
A pretty good piece of hitting right here. Staying hard to the middle. Nice job by Adam Jones to cut it off, get it back into second base, but Bogaerts able to score easily with that lead-off double.
So that'll finish the line for Alec Asher with a run on 3 hits over 6 1/3. Now, with 2 away, he will face Rutledge, who has grounded out twice. Rutledge seeing Givens for the first time. And the pitch will be inside for a ball. I was looking, while these teams have had a lot of offensive games, with the ball game last night 7-5, 6 games now, 6 out of the 10 have been decided by 3 runs or less. 3 runs or less. So things have started to tighten up in some of these games. Back into the bag goes Bradley. There are 2 away here. Asher.
Well, both teams known for putting up the big crooked number of innings. Both pitchers kind of holding them down tonight, but last night the Orioles a big number up.
Now we get a little cat and mouse going here with Bradley over there at first base. 1-0 delivery, runner not going. Pitcher's right there for a strike. For Rutledge, only his 22nd game. 258 coming in, 7 RBIs. Givens, runner goes down low. Joseph up in a hurry. Great throw, and he got him. Caleb Joseph again. Quick feet, strong arm. He has thrown out 5 of 18. And a big out right there to end the inning. 7th inning stretch time. Hyundai Better Than Ever sales event. The best total savings on select models in Hyundai's history is going on now at your Hyundai dealer. Back here at Camden Yards, Gary Thorne and Mike Bordick. The little things of the game. As a fan, I think it's always fun to manage along with the guys who are actually doing it down there on the field. The last play, one of those things that can really matter when Bradley takes off. I mean, you got the potential tying run on. He's trying to get in scoring position. Always risky, but that's what managers get paid for.
Well, you got to push for it, especially on the road. You take some extra chances like that. And Caleb Joseph, a nice job making the throw. What we didn't see, a nice pick on the end there. Jonathan Schoop, he talked yesterday about how well the Orioles straddle the base, handle the throws from the catchers. Beautiful job by Schoop. That was a huge out. Another little thing. How about this little thing right here? The Manny Machado action figure.
That's a giveaway action figure.
Yeah.
That's going to be given away.
With a card, too.
That's tomorrow.
I opened it up.
It's very good.
Yeah.
Of course, you'll never be able to, now that you opened it up, you can't go like you told me you were going to do, go online and sell the damn thing. But nice try, though.
I'll give you this one and take the one.
Take the other one. We saw another one of those big, small plays in this game that was made by Porcello while he was in there. You had Davis, who got caught third base in what could have been a run-scoring inning, and he got out of it without giving up a run. Second out recorded in a rundown.
Yeah, pretty heady play, obviously, for Porcello. You see his line right here, 6 innings, the 8 hits. He's been getting hit a lot this year, but only 3 runs on the board, so he was able to minimize the damage, the 5 punch-outs, but 118 pitches throwing the Orioles offense, really making him work. through this ball game. Heath Embry now in. This will be his 27th game. 3.76 earned run average. 27 punch-outs in the 26 and the third innings of work. So he's got a big arm. Good fastball slider combination. He rushes it up there mid to high 90s with the fastball. Opponents hitting 284. Righties at 267, but the lefty's way up there at 348. First batter faced, he's having a hard time. 9 for 25 at a 360 clip.
So Embry comes on, and the Orioles will get a chance at him here as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Caleb Joseph will lead it off, then Smith and Jones at the top of the order. Embry, and his pitch swung on, foul tipped into the mitt. Embry worked on the 30th against Chicago, 2 innings, and had zeros across in that performance for Boston. If the Orioles can get to the bullpen of the Red Sox. Caleb Joseph to the hole, and he's got a base hit. He leads off the bottom of the 7th inning with a single in this 1-run ball game.
And Caleb Joseph, a couple hits in this ball game, and both through that 5-6 hole, really staying short to the baseball on the inside pitch. And take a look at it. That's direct to the ball, cutting it through the 5-6 hole.
See if the Orioles can take advantage of the leadoff man on base. Darren O'Day up for the Orioles. Seth Smith led off the ball game for the O's with a home run, his 5th. He has since flied out and struck out. Smith taking a look down at third. He's not had an at-bat against Embry. And the pitch will be up and away. So 1-run game here in the 7th, and the bullpen's taking over with both starters still the pitchers of record in the game. Coaching staff kind of huddled over there along the top rail here in the 7th. One-0 delivery, shift on in the infield, same place. That will miss at 90, and a 2-0 count. And they'll get Mark Scott up to throw. May see a number of changes here as Farrell will try and mix and match. Givens is on for the Orioles. The run, however, was charged to Alec Asher, who scored in that 7th inning.
Pretty nasty pitch right there to Seth Smith. Nasty little slider down and in. Get himself back into the count. A big arm. At times, though, some inconsistencies with some command. See a couple nasty misses up and away, but burying the slider for that first strike.
2-1. They move Bogarts right behind second base. Here's the 2-1 delivery on the way to him, and Smith will chop that one foul at the plate. So Embry takes it to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Veteran pitcher. He has faced a lot of these situations coming out of the bullpen in his career. Embry just 28 years old, but like Porcello, the starter, a lot of experience with the Giants and Boston. 2 ball, 2 strike count. And that one right off the catcher. Foul back. Leone kind of jumps out of there as that one got a piece of him on the way by.
Yeah, allows Diaz out to hand the ball to Embry. Give Leone a little time. Good fastball away, about 96 miles an hour. Right over the glove and catches him on that tricep of the glove hand.
Embry with a 2 ball, 2 strike count. Caleb being held at first by Moreland. Embry's 5th game against the Orioles already this year. He's given up no runs, 5 hits in 6 1/3 innings. 2-2 delivery on the way. Fouled that one away.
Seth's staying short right now with the 2 strikes.
Smith has seen a few pitches in this game.
Yes, he has.
He has worked the counts, and this is 4th at bat. Number 7 coming up here.
Yeah, the Orioles have had a pretty sound approach as a team offensively in this ball game.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Red Sox bullpens ranked 3rd in ERA coming into the ball game. The Orioles are 8th in earned run average in the American League. Kimbrel, the closer, of course, has certainly helped that one out with all the zeros that he has put up. He awaits. Joseph off first, and the 2-2 delivery down the line and foul the other way. Good catch.
You gotta like the fight, throwing off the tough pitches. Anytime you can extend pitchers, keep them working, that is a good thing. The mistake will come. How about Seth Smith once again? Ray B, where he's seeing multiple pitches up into the double digits now.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Infield on the right sneaks in a little for a ground ball, and he fights off another one. Well, when the Orioles got him, on base percentage was much talked about. One of the reasons for that is these kind of at bats that he'll battle away. He'll pick up some walks, or he'll get a fatter pitch to hit to get on. He is really working Embry here. Two-two delivery coming again. Couldn't quite wait on that one. Bogart's the only one over there. Will back up and put it away. So Joseph back to the bag, one away here. Game 3 of the 4-game set coming up tomorrow, 7 o'clock on Fox and the Orioles Radio Network. Series will wrap up on Sunday. Our coverage on MASN on Sunday at 1 with those extra. Presented by Southwest. Game coverage at 1:30. All the access you need right here on MASN. Big crowd on hand here tonight, seeing a good one. 33,193, 33,193. He announced attendance here at Camden Yards tonight. Adam Jones doing a little housekeeping.
I think that was a piece of a broken bat and said it wasn't ours. It must have been yours.
That's the closest you'll see a player during a game walk to the other team's dugout, right?
Yeah.
One down, runner remains at first base. Adam an 0 for 3. 1 for 7, a home run here in the first 2 games. Embry, the fastball. Adam swinging on through it. Jones 2 for 7 with a home run lifetime off the reliever. Here's the 0-1 delivery to him. That one in the air, right center field, not deep, should fall. Diving catch made. Mookie Betts puts it away, and he robs Adam Jones of a single. So Jones took a home run away from him last night. He takes a base hit away from him here.
Pretty impressive play by Mookie Betts. He can cover some ground, some gliding speed, and then acrobatic on the end. How about sacrificing the body, reaching back across, coming up with a huge play right there. Pretty impressive. He has got some amazing speed in the outfield. A direct line right there to take one away from Adam Jones.
So now, runner on, Manny Machado coming up. Home run, first inning, our Lexus Towson drive of the game.
How about the flashback, August 7th?
2011. This is the one we talked about earlier, bounced off the facade.
Up in the second deck. How about tonight? Manny Machado. That was the last time we've seen it. He takes one up into the second deck. A big ball, 465 feet away.
He stands in with a runner on at first. Lexus Towson, the area's #1 volume Lexus dealer 7 straight years. Come see why. LexusofTowson.com. And it is foul back and out of play. So Manny with a 1 for 3 in the ball game. Embry, as you can tell, slows the game down. Mookie and Adam, they've had something going here in this series. First 2 games. Good pitch. Movement down and away. And the count goes to 0-2 on Manny.
Yeah, that one kind of like it had a little cut action. 94 miles an hour. And just getting a little over aggressive right there.
Machado 0 for 4 off the right-hander. Trying to get him to look at one upstairs at 96 miles an hour. Wouldn't go after it. Caleb let it off with a base hit. Orioles not able to move him yet. Manny will take a heater away. A little more on that one at 97.
Overthrown a little bit.
Two ball, 2 strike count. And further outside. So after getting ahead, pitch is not even close. And 3-2. You see Farrell pointing down to first base, telling Moreland to stay in the bag. 1-run game. He does not want Caleb Josephs to get a big running start, and willing to give Machado that right side since he doesn't hit a lot there. 3-2, runner goes, popped up. Moreland, Leone reaching, can't get it, in the dugout. So another long at bat. 7th one coming up here to Manny. Orioles out hitting the Red Sox 9-4 in the ball game, leading it by just 1. Smith and Machado, the home runs in the 1st inning. Kim, the RBI double in the 4th. Sandoval, a home run. First Red Sox hit came in the 3rd off Asher, and then the RBI base hit by Bradley in the 7th. 3-2, runner going again, and a swing and a miss. So Embry will get the strikeout. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We go to the 8th inning. Darren O'Day ready to go. For New York, first time he'd done so in the game yesterday. And Joe Girardi said he's got the best numbers on the team, so it's time to move him up. He's hitting third again in the ballgame tonight, and he's hit his major league leading 18th home run tonight. The Rays are not, as manager Kevin Cash often says, where they want to be, but they are somewhat pleased. The confidence comes from their recent results, winning 10 of their last 15, 5 straight road series. That from the Tampa Bay Times. And they are on the road in Seattle for a late start tonight. Orioles up by 1. Darren O'Day.
Well, Darren O'Day in his 23rd game this season, 3.80 earned run average. A couple saves on the year, 25 punch-outs and 21 1/3 innings of work. Darren O'Day has been on his game here recently, pinpointing every offering and of his two-seam sinking fastball, the rising heater, and of course that sweeping slider. You see opponents hitting just 208. And lefty's only 133. Controlling that first batter as well, just 3 for 20.
Tied ball game goes to the 8th inning. Rutledge will lead it off. 0 for 2, couple of ground ball outs for O'Day. This is game number 4 against the Red Sox this year. He's picked up a save, given up 2 runs, 1 earned, 4 hits in 2 innings worked. Only 2 innings worked against Boston so far this season. That pitch is in there for a strike.
Well, Darren O'Day back in April, 11 games, 1-1 with that 610 earned run average. And hey, how about settling into the 164? Impressive turnaround. I think Darren O'Day a little banged up. Out of spring training that month of April, a slow start. It's not as crisp.
That's going to go to center, coming hard. Adam will get there and put it away. Rutledge an 0 for 3, the first out here in the 8th inning.
Nice jump right there by Adam Jones. A little jam shot. It looked like it was going to find some outfield grass, but Adam Jones making it look easy coming in and getting that one.
So Darren O'Day retires the first batter he faces. Sandoval, first Red Sox hit, a 3rd inning home run. 1 for 2. 0 for 1 for 4 against O'Day for Sandoval. 1 down, nobody on. And the big cut by the switch hitter.
Pretty nasty breaking ball here. Caleb wanting it down and away, but he starts it on the plate and it just cuts hard in under the hands. And the ball off balance, first strike swing there.
0-1 delivery by Darren will be outside. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Good one here in game 2 as the Orioles try and move past Boston in the standings, trying to gain some ground on the Yankees. Yankees have made a comeback in their game. They're still trailing. Last look, what, 6-5, Toronto leading. 1-1 delivery. Sandoval goes upstairs. 1-2.
Boy, it looks so good there at the top of the strike zone. It rides through the zone, doesn't come back down at all, actually takes off. Rise ball effect from Darren O'Day. So many hitters. A hard time getting on top of that fastball.
Here's the 1-2 delivery on the way. Back into the screen by Sandoval with the home run he got in the 3rd. He now has a couple of long balls and 4 RBIs against the Orioles this year. Up and down the lineup, as is true for so many of these teams in the American League East. Power, top to bottom. Darren ahead on the count, 1-2. And Sandoval's gone.
Well, showed he was going to swing at that strike up at the top of the zone. And Darren O'Day targeted it. Next pitch up there. And the 3rd one. Taking off even more. Sandoval just getting underneath. Big second out for O'Day.
Asher with 5 strikeouts, Givens 1 and O'Day 1. The Oriole pitchers have not walked a batter. Miley walked only 1 in the ball game last night, and Red Sox, they did not walk a batter in last night's game, so free passes few and far between these first two games. Leone going after it. He's had a base hit, 1 for 2 in the ball game. Bases are clear with 2 away. The day after a quick 1-2-3 and not turn the order over here in the 8th inning. His delivery will be up high. McShowalter was talking about that before the game, that the Oriole relievers were able to retire the side quickly in the 7th. Only 4 faced, and then the 8th inning retired in order. He said that mattered because we were able to prevent that lineup from getting turned over again later in the ball game.
Yeah, close ball games. You got to be careful. Betts, Benintendi, Bogarts, they all have a high on base percentage, and they can steal as well.
2 ball, 1 strike count on Leone. Oriole pitchers holding the Red Sox to 2. Team that has scored 5.27 on the road, second highest in the league in runs scored in road games. O'Day's delivery at 2-1. That's right there for a strike. Just tied him up 2-2.
Yeah, beautiful pitch. A lot of hitters think it's going to be a 2-seam fastball from down there and work off that outside corner. And Darren starts it off the edge and it works back in. Great command of that backdoor slider.
Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way. $33,000 umpires thought it was a strike. One didn't. As Thomas Jefferson said to his cabinet that voted 7-1 on his proposal, I win. 3-2. Just missed on that one. Good eye by Leone. He draws the first walk the Red Sox have picked up in the ball game, and the order does turn over for Mookie Betts. Betts has a 1 for 7 against O'Day. He's yet to have a hit in this series. 0 for 4 last night, 0 for 3 so far tonight. Couple of fly balls to center and a fielder's choice. Well, the Red Sox get the potential tying run on.
A little surprised there hasn't been a pinch runner. Well, for Leone.
He's taking. It's in there for a strike. Betts, of course, has done damage against the Orioles. Here in this ballpark, a .313 lifetime average at Camden Yards, and he's hit 10 of the 11 home runs he's had against the Orioles have come here. Leone off first base, the 0-1 delivery. And it'll be a sweeper outside, 1-1.
Mookie Betts has become a MVP caliber type player with his speed and power and the way he plays defense. As well rounded as you're going to see in the game. Huge year last year.
O'Day looking to finish this inning off. Benintendi on deck. 1-1 delivery. That's just trying for a long ball there. Big cut at 90.
Another pitch located very well up and in with the fastball. It's rising up there. Watch the bat hit just underneath there. Betts trying to get it to the baseball as he pulls the hands in tight. Extra life there.
One and two, 2 down. Leone off first. And Betts goes down swinging. O'Day with a couple of strikeouts. No runs, no hits, no errors. One left on base. Bottom of the 8th coming up. 1-run game with the Orioles on top. 12 years old, is Sheree Myrick, and he went up against Manny, Jonathan, and Wayne Kirby playing chess in the clubhouse today. You got it. He won them all. He won his division, a perfect score in the U.S. National Chess Tournament in Nashville. 249 participants from 28 states. He got interested in it when he got a flyer at school when he was in the first grade. Went home, told his mother he was interested. He hasn't stopped playing since. And Wayne Kirby found out just how good he is.
Yeah, it's a big game in the Oriole clubhouse.
Yeah.
Chess matches.
The national champion.
They got
Herrera's come on to play at third for Sandoval. Buck Showalter compared it today to having the kids, the ping pong champions from China, who came 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
And came in and played. I mean, that's ridiculously good.
Right.
I mean,
I know. Oh my gosh.
So the bullpen active for the Red Sox as the Orioles bat here in the 8th inning, looking to add to that 1-run lead. Trumbo's 0 for 3 in the ball game, and he will take the pitch away. Hembree came on, retired the side in the 7th. There's Brad Brock, Oriole closer. Two-zero count. Davis, Scope, due up. Trumbo trying to line one up there, and a 2-1 count.
Yeah, he's been good on the high fastballs this year. A couple home runs up about neck high. And he's been able to get on top of, just missing 94 there.
Trumbo 1 for 3 off the right-hander, and he couldn't hold up. Laz Diaz, home plate umpire, made the call on it. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count. Two and two, leadoff batter for the Orioles here in the 8th inning. 2 in the first, 1 in the 4th for the O's. And that one to center. Bradley. He's got it. Let's take a look at our Major League notebook on this date in history. 89, the Orioles, known as the Browns, and of course when they played in St. Louis, they became just the 5th franchise in history to record their 3,000th win, doing it on this date in 89. And at 87, the Mariners used their #1 draft pick and selected Ken Griffey Jr. And in 2010, on the same date he had been selected, he announced his retirement, and he's into the Hall of Fame. That's going to do it. Ivry coming out of there here in the 8th inning, 1 down. It'll be Davis coming up.
Appearance for the Sox, 150 earned run average. He's been pitching pretty well. 10 punch outs in 12 innings with only 3 walks on the board. Holding the opponents to just the 128 overall batting average. He's a lefty matchup specialist, just 091. Giving up the one long ball. Changes arm angles with his offerings. Got the fastball, curveball, changeup mix. Nice job with the first batter as well. Just 3 for 19.
Chris Davis has an 0 for 2 in the only times he has faced Scott. Bases are empty. 1 down, 8th inning. Chris reached on a walk. He has singled and been called out on strikes. Let's see what he can do against Scott. The left-handers 2 for 22. One of those a home run off Scott. One of those 2 hits he's given up to a left-hander. 1 down, shift on in the infield. Way over towards that first base side on that delivery and really drops down.
Yeah, pretty nasty on the lefties. It's the righties. He changes his arm angle again.
That'll be a foul ball. Oh, 2 count on Chris. "21 appearances, only 12 innings tells you the specialist that he is." Comes inside, moves him back in a 1-ball 2-strike count. Not a lot of room in bullpens anymore. Used to always have the one guy come in, usually a left-hander, to get a lefty out, but this day and age with bullpen use as much as it is, it's hard to do that.
Yeah, you better have something to get the righty out.
Yeah. 1-2 pitch on the way, and Chris swinging at one that was away. Tag will be put on.
A big sweepy slider right there. John Farrell out. It's about matching up right now. Take a look at this sweeping slider from the side. Starts behind Davison's in the other batter's box.
So the matchups will continue as the strikeout recorded will bring Scope up with 2 down.
Pretty good at 292, but hasn't given up a long ball yet. Big arm, Joe Kelly. He can rush it up there 100 miles an hour with the fastball. Slider curve change combination. At one time a starter with the St. Louis Cardinals. Red Sox tried to keep him as a starter, but it's too inconsistent. Relegated to the bullpen. Bring some noise out of there. Primarily the power fastball slider combination.
So the 28-year-old out of Anaheim will take to the mound, and Scope will stand in. Jonathan has picked up a couple of singles, scored a run, 6-game hit streak for him. Bases are empty. He's gone against Kelly 4 for 16. And the pitch on the way, and a strike called on a swinging strike. Juan Diaz with a call on that one. Kelly against the Orioles. This is game number 6. They have touched him up for a couple of runs on 5 hits in 6 2/3 innings this year. 0-1 count. That one drilled to center. It's up there though. Bradley will come on and make the catch. So 1-2-3 inning, and the Orioles will bring Brock on. A save situation, 9th inning, 3-2 O's. Is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. So here we go. Buckle them up. 3-2. Orioles looking for 2 in a row against Boston. 9th inning.
And Brad Brock into the ball game. Their closer, 10 saves in his 13 opportunities. 3.38 earned run average, but he has been on his game here recently. 26 punchouts in 24 innings. For Brock, locating all 3 of his dominant pitches. Opponents hitting just 181 against Brad. He has given up the 3 long balls. But, he's throwing strikes right now. That tough 3/4 angle, cross-body delivery. Let's see the first batter at 200 on the year against Brad.
So Brad against the Red Sox this year is 2 for 2 in saves. 3 games total. 3 innings and nothing across. Striking out 1. So Brock works here as the Orioles look for victory number 29. Try and make it 3 wins in a row and take the first 2 in this 4-game set against Boston. Andrew Benintendi 0 for 3 in the ball game. Bogarts and then Moreland. 2, 3, 4 in the order. Brock, in picking up that last save, just came at the hitters. That one put up in the air. Center field. Adam Jones. 1 pitch and 1 out.
Well, they got the book on Brad Brock here. He wants to get ahead. Be aggressive early in the strike zone. Benintendi coming out swinging. Tie this game up.
There's one of the 3. Here's Bogarts, a double he scored in the 7th inning on a 2-out RBI base hit by Bradley. He is 1 for 3 in the ball game tonight. He has put up some numbers against Brad Brock. 4 for 9 with a home run. 1 down, 9th inning. Which will be outside for a ball. The starters are the pitcher of record, Alec Asher, looking for his 2nd win. Porcello, the Cy Young Award winner, 3 and 6 at the moment. 1-0 delivery, and that'll be outside as well. 2-0.
You definitely don't want to fall behind. Guys on base by way of the walk. Brock's been really good. runners off base here recently.
Here's the 2-0 delivery. That is a strike. Move that one in a little further, staying away from Bogaerts.
Falls behind 2-0, needs a strike, and he gets a quality pitch. 95 miles an hour right on that outside corner.
Brad ready with a 2-1 delivery, and Bogaerts in a big cut.
Brock matching him with 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Working that outside corner.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Bogaerts with Moreland waiting on deck. Keeps the at-bat alive by fouling it off.
A couple misses on that outside corner, fall behind, and now he's just filling it up, painting that edge. The firm fastball.
And Farrell's Red Sox could be moved to third, with the Orioles passing them into second in the East. They can get the win here. 2 ball, 2 strike count. In the air again, center field. Two down.
Great job by Brad coming back and winning that one for the second out.
Fans on their feet. Big house here tonight. They've seen a heck of a ball game. The Orioles looking for one more to put it in a W column, and it'll be Moreland, who's gone 0 for 3, coming up with nobody on. One for 4 off Brock. Chops it foul.
Boy, he was loading up for a fastball, and Brad Brock flips in the nasty changeup on the outside corner. Great pitch. Get into the count.
Here's the 0-1 delivery to him. Moreland takes it.
Good try here from Brad Brock. Back-to-back changeups. Take a look. Did it catch that edge? Wow. Borderline pitch right there. Good take from Moreland.
Infield shifted on Moreland. Here's the 1-1 delivery to him. Moreland on a cut over the top.
That changeup gets down in the zone. It's as nasty as you're going to see. Acts like a split finger. Right here. Bottom just dropping out of it. Right at the front of the plate.
One ball, 2 strike delivery. Moreland, a ground ball back to the mound. Brock's got it. And the Orioles take the first 2 of the 4-game set. Brock comes on to wrap it up. A 1-2-3 top of the 9th inning. The Orioles win it 3-2. They are now 10-8 in 1-run ball games. While the Red Sox are 6-7. Orioles win their 29th of the year. This one a 3-2 victory.